Hi guys, my name is Vera and I'm the current HR Director of Enactus at the University of Melbourne. I'm currently studying postgraduate dentistry. I'm in my first year, and aside from study and Enactus, I'm currently volunteering for a non-for-profit and registered charity called Halad to Health. At Halad to Health, a lot of our work ultimately goes towards shaping the healthcare landscape of rural Philippines. And I think that if I had to condense down our main overarching goal into the most simplest sense, I would say that our dream is to really just deliver healthcare education, which is sort of a crux of healthcare, and closing that gap between allied health professionals and the rest of community, as well as increasing accessibility to healthcare services for people living in those areas. Halad actually means offering in Bisayan, which is a dialect in the Philippines, and so essentially our cause is to provide an offering to good health. Tomorrow is a new day, Monday, end of a mid-semester break and start of a new week, and I will be taking you along with me on one of the days in which I am heavily involved in a lot of Halad duties. So I'm going to close this up now and see you guys tomorrow. So I have just finished a really busy day at uni. I finished all my classes and I'm starting my Halad day now. It is about 5 p.m. on the Monday. So here I'm about to take a tram and walk up to the hub at Parliament, which is our current office space. So with lockdown slowly uplifting over time, the ops team is trying to have as many meetings in person. This is obviously really difficult because everybody's got so much going on, and all of our team members are currently not only across Victoria, some of us are even located interstate at the moment. So today it's literally just Sarah and I, who is our head of GAMSAT, and we'll be zooming in from our office space. If we were to usually have an in-person meeting, we'd usually book a room, but since there's really just 2 of us today coming into the hub, we're just going to be staying in this one open space. And this is basically what it looks like. It's really nice, it's really spacious, and it always has really nice music playing in the background. And yeah, really nice view of Melbourne. And I'm starting my day off with our weekly operations meeting. I'm currently working on the back-end operations team. My current role is community manager, which I would say that I could break down into 2 distinct divisions. So the first part of it is I sort of work on marketing on all of our social media platforms, so Facebook, Instagram, even LinkedIn, and making sure that all the content is out there, that all the students know what events and what services we have going on at the time. And the other half of it is, as the title of my role suggests, is just managing the community of students that we have. And we're starting off our meeting with a bang. We always start off by asking everyone their peak of the week, a philosophical question, and then our program coordinator Miguel shows us his top 5 memes of a week. Before we get into all the serious stuff, we like to keep it lighthearted and animated, and this is just our vibe essentially. One of the best things about working at Halad is that I'm genuinely working with my friends. These are people that share really similar work styles, similar visions and goals for the future. But I think more so than anything, we are all underpinned by a mutual respect and an unspoken love for one another. Even though with our roles, everyone has a lot on their plate. So for pretty much everyone, this is just a small part of our lives. And this network of people behind this organization really is just a group of people from all walks of life with a shared passion for changing the world while continuing to live their own lives. And then we get into the serious stuff. Our meetings are usually quite structured. Over here, Sarah is just running us through our current recruitment period. As we're expanding our team, we need to meet that supply and demand with more people. And after the meeting, I stayed back to interview a potential new recruit with Sarah. Like I said before, we're expanding our team to meet the growth of our GAMSAT courses and student base, which was a major priority of this week. And here's a clip of Sarah trying to explain the strange app organization system that she's got going on in her doc. It's all very systematic.
So, hi everyone, this is Sarah, who is our head of GAMSAT and the absolute vision behind all of our GAMSAT courses and med entry related events. So, Sarah, I have noticed on your computer that you have a very interesting way of organizing your apps. Would you like to tell us the story behind this and the reason and the thinking process behind it?
So basically, it's very important to me that everything is organized. So there are a few variables that determine where the apps go in the bottom bar on my laptop. One of those is how often I use it, so the frequency. Another one is the grouping, so what are they actually utilized for? And then another one is the efficiency. So I'm not going to put an app over here if I like to have the window open over here, because that's just messy. And then also whether it's something that is like, you know, those constitutive hormones that are always on, like, is it an app that's always open or is it an app that's only sometimes open? And then I categorize them and then I group them and I order them based on that.
Afterwards, I take the bus home, and something that I'm checking up over here is our upcoming In the Med Space newsletter. This is something that I write up bi-weekly as part of my community manager role, and I share this to all of our student subscribers. And essentially this newsletter is just a condensation of a number of opportunities that lie beyond just taking the GAMSAT exam. Things like volunteering opportunities, internships, part-time jobs that all heavily involve or are revolved around the healthcare space. And I think that pretty much wraps up my day. Thank you so much for joining me on one of my days at work. I hope you enjoyed it and got something out of it. I think my favorite thing about working at a charity such as Halad to Health is knowing that you really are part of that change. A lot of people really talk about the fact that you can't really change the world, and I think that it's true to a certain extent when you're talking about on an individual level, but I think when you have a team with such great synergy and everyone and their priorities are all on the same page, teamwork really does make the dream work. And one thing that we've recently achieved is, obviously, we've had a very successful GAMSAT with the last March sitting, and we raised a lot of funds, and they've recently gone towards mental health services for students in rural Philippines. And obviously, mental health is a major problem. It's one of those issues that is in the process of being tackled, especially in the Philippines, which has a particularly strict religious, social, cultural context. And so knowing that my team and I were actually able to do something like that is extremely empowering and very inspiring, and I'm very proud of each and every one of us for being able to achieve that. So I'm probably going to cap off the vlog around over here. Again, thank you so much for joining me, and to see more Firestarter's content, go follow them on Instagram and Facebook. Alright, Vera out. I'll see you next time. Bye!